what should a government consider when we talk about urban to rural migration?
Urban-rural migration is one of the factors that underpin urbanization. And then the other aspect of it is looking at how to adapt to these changes that comes along with it.
Okay.
And looking at it from what the government is supposed to do, that is where we begin to look at decongesting the city. Now, decongesting the city, I think part of the things to do, like we say, like the urban planners were supposed to have in the state, we're supposed to have a regional plan, and then we're also supposed to have our other subject plans, local plans, and all that. So these are plans that will now look at each of these local government areas and know what activity to site there that could serve as a pull factor to attract people to those places. Now, we also have to remember that people coming to the city, they are not just coming because they want to come. It's because of the infrastructure and the amenities you have in those cities.
All right.
And that is what is pulling them there. Now, from the side of the government, if I look at what this current administration is doing, you can see that recently the university campuses have been, located in 3 different areas now. And I think that is in the direction of also trying to decongest the city. But then, another key infrastructure is to ensure the road network between Port Harcourt City and all these local government areas has to be in good condition. And that is one thing that will also help people to move. So the government, currently, this current administration, they have a blueprint on establishing new towns. And once we have those new towns established, automatically, I think these new town authorities will now be able to come up with conscious plans on how these places will develop. Like recently, a couple of days ago, Ahoda Road and other roads were, commissioned. These are legacy projects that are also aimed at the congestion. But we need to put an institution on ground for this to work out properly.
When you say an institution, what exactly would that mean?
Yeah, when I say an institution, like I mentioned the new towns. Now the new town, there should be a new town authority, new town development authority. Now this new town development authority will guide the decongestion. Now guiding the decongestion is all about plans. There has to be a conscious development of plans so that this further development that goes on every nook and cranny does not occur in those places. So that is what I mean. Okay,
so we have some part of rivers is riverine, some part is upland. What are the considerations that must, be put in for us to be able to succeed in this new town plan that you talk about?
You said? Sorry.
The topography of the area, how important is it, in ensuring that the new plan actually works or is feasible?
Definitely to work, because if we begin to look at topography or whatever, we know River State, we have a lot of marine-based areas and all that, but that does not forestall the development of those places. And if you look at, I think I've also followed some of the programs, some of these areas are being reclaimed. They are being sandfilled so that they can be actually developed. So the terrain whatsoever is not a constraint, because the technologies to manipulate those things, those areas are on ground, are readily available.
So what infrastructure should we be looking at? You've mentioned roads, and I mean, that's so basic. What else do you think would today, because we've evolved from 30, 40, 50 years ago, this is 2021, what do you think today should be the key infrastructures that any government should be looking at for any form of urban rural migration to take place?
Well, the major thing is to bring planning into core. Because if you don't bring planning in, automatically you can't get it right. But when you bring planning in, because the planning deals with plans, and these plans, for instance, like most of the local governments in Rivers State, they have master plans. These master plans are now obsolete. They are dated. Now, these master plans were supposed to guide development of all these local government areas, connecting them to the city of Port Harcourt. But these master plans are obsolete as I speak with you now. So there is need to review these plans. When we review these plans will give us a new direction. Will give us a new direction on how to really connect all these local governments to the city of Port Harcourt, so that you don't really need to, when you are coming in, just some few minutes drive, at most an hour, if you are coming from the very distant end of the state, you are in the capital of the city.
Okay, let's look at, there was a plan once upon a time called Greater Port Harcourt City. So it's not that we haven't had plans, but can you tell us anything? Do you know anything that could have stalled that?
That could have done what?
Stalled the Greater Port Harcourt, city development plan. The area called Greater Port Harcourt, yeah.
The Greater Port Harcourt city plan, I think we saw the plan taking off, and a number of things is being done there. I think it's all about the function of governance, and it could still be resuscitated.
Okay. So, what role do you think the people have to play in all of this? Especially since the plan is to get the people to move from the urban areas to the rural areas.
First is to engage the appropriate professionals. That is where the town planners comes in. So when you bring the town planners in, the town planners are the people that will come up with these plans. The master plan, the neighborhood plans, the sector plans, the district plans, the local plans, and all that. The town planner comes up with these plans. And when they do this, because it is their training, they engage with the stakeholders, so that the people buy into the project. They know that they are part of it. Not that they wake up and in the morning, everywhere is being cleared. They don't even know what is coming. But they make them to buy into the project so that they own the project, So that is one of the core things. The town planners should be given their place in development.
All right. So someone is saying that if lands were the reason for migration, people would have moved to the deserts. Roads, new towns, major infrastructure and investment would naturally move people to settle within a locality. Dagogo says, for example, if Abonima has a good large fishing company, 2 more banks, university and other factories around Abonima, people will move to the local governments. Let's talk about that. People have talked about the need for industries and businesses. What would the government need to do to move businesses from the city center to other local government areas? First of all, many people in the years gone past have said they left the rural areas because of insecurity. And even in the city, we hear companies leaving, citing multiple taxation and those kinds of things. So what does the government need to do?
Well, it is the responsibility of the government to create an enabling environment for development to thrive. And one of such things they do is the provision of infrastructure. Like the Abonima area you mentioned, the Trans-Calabar road that is coming is also going to open development to that area. So when we have such infrastructure there, investors will just look at it. You want to go into a fish something, and all that you need for you to establish it is there. The road infrastructure for you to move in, get your products out and all that is there. Of course, you don't need to be told, because, comparatively, you see that it is cheaper for you to be close to where your resources are than to locate distance away to go and start getting your resources. So with that, nobody even needs to tell an investor that wants to make the profit and all that where to locate. So they will just move in there. And that is why some of these infrastructures, they also serve as pull factors. You know, like some persons now that are in the city, it's not because they are really comfortable here. But I tell you, if they have a good road to their local governments and villages, they will sit in their village or whatever, come to work from there. They will travel from those places to work in the city, close and go. You know, but because just these things are not there, everybody wants to live a comfortable life. So everybody moves to the city where they are sure, okay, there are good roads, there are recreational venues and all that. They come around and all the necessary, the ministries and all that they want to interact with is just there. So they sit there. So it's just to get this infrastructure there, and those are part of the enabling environment that government can create for investment to thrive.
All right, let's take a few questions. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0009. My guest is the new chairman, Nigeria Institute of Town Planners, Emmanuel Ikechukwu, and we're talking about urban-rural migration that the governor, Wike, spoke about yesterday. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you.
Okay. Thank you. Hector.
Okay.
Now, the governor yesterday said that he talked about rural-urban migration. Fine. But that will only end up being a wishful thinking. Because constructing roads alone in the rural areas is not enough for people to go back to their communities. Now, a lot of us left our rural communities to the urban areas in search of greener pasture. Now, for this wish to be effective or to be achievable, the governor ought to, relocate some ministries, some parastaffers, organizations, and companies and institutions to some of these local governments, because after doing construction of roads and people go back to their communities, mind you, people will still come back to the city for work. So it is not enough. Right. Some of these institutions, organizations, companies that are investors are coming to the state should not be in Odia and Saga. They should also be relocated or sited for some of these local governments. That is one way of solving this rural-urban migration.
All right, Diego is in Transamadi. Good morning, let's hear you.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
The problem has never been the lack of plans. The problem has been political stability and continuity. A lot of us, myself inclusive, we bought into the Greater Port Harcourt plan. But we know exactly what's happening at the moment. That plan is abandoned, to put it in a very mild manner. There were institutions created to oversee that project, which are the Greater Port Harcourt offices and all that. Those institutions are by all means non-existent. And this affects investors like us, because there's no trust in the government to continue what they say they're going to do. People don't understand that government is a continuum. It's not about your personal interest. It's not about you. You promise the people something, you should do it.
All right.
We invested in Greater Port Harcourt, but here we are. And I'm not talking about myself alone. I speak for a lot of other investors out there. This is the problem. You're talking about people going back to the villages to build houses. It's not the people that will develop these villages. These are investors. You need people to come in and put their money in order to make money out of it. But when you see a history of continuity and commitment from the government, and you're coming again to tell us about another plan to extend Port Harcourt, these are things that everybody knows should be done. But is the government serious about these things? We can't put your money into projects that you really don't know what's going to happen with the next government. That's political instability, and that's what worries a lot of us to have the money to put in, and we don't even know if we're going to make anything out of it. So it's not just by saying it. is by showing the people that you're serious.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diego. Justice, you need to hold on. Okay, let's have you quickly. Then we talk to Mr. Ikechukwu. Go on, Justice.
All right. Good morning. And the guests in the studio, good morning. I think the problem we have is not a problem of ideas or knowing what to do or saying what to do. The problem we have is, putting what we know into action. The governor has said this now, and he has barely, few years to leave office. This is a long-term project. It's something that has to start on time. And with the present action of the governor, he's not, really putting that into action. We are talking of decongesting Port Harcourt, but the project coming on in Port Harcourt is not decongesting it. It's more or less congesting it more. Simple way of rural-urban migration is, taking more facilities to the rural areas, accompanying economic projects that would bring, money to the table. And so if that is done, what would, just complement it is infrastructure, make roads and other things. When once we don't have what is taking us to the Ogoni region, nobody would go there. You don't have what is taking you to the Okrika area, nobody will go there. So when one particular project, economic project are cited in this region, the government will want to think that, let us send roads here. Let us make a way for transportation or movement of people. So that is it. We should match it with action and rather not politicizing or, just saying what everybody is doing.
All right. I'm sure Port Harcourt on its own has its own master plan. And over the years, there are batches everywhere. We have shanties, we have people building their houses even on the roads and making it difficult for people to park cars in compounds or even making streets, terribly small. So that on its own, shouldn't we even start from there in the first place? Shouldn't we start from reclaiming the original master plan of Port Harcourt? Are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, I was talking to you.
Okay.
I was asking, does Port Harcourt not have a master plan?
It does, Port Harcourt have.
So shouldn't we start by reclaiming that? Because if what we see on ground is clearly very chaotic in some areas, especially the suburbs, and even in the GRA, we still have some structures that shouldn't even be there.
Yeah, the master plan of Port Harcourt is also, like I mentioned earlier, not only Port Harcourt that have master plan. Almost all the local governments in River State have a master plan.
Really?
And this is, if you compare River State and other states, including Lagos, they don't have the number of master plans that River State have. A couple of years ago, Oyo State, I think Oyo State, if I'm right, they came here to understudy the master plans we have here in River State. But the problem is that these plans are outdated. It has to be reviewed. It has to be reviewed. So if we want to put things right, the first thing is to review the master plan. Look at places that the plans have been distorted. Look at how to integrate some of these things into the master plan, and then put it in perspective so that it will work.
All right, so this matter of continuity, someone called in and said they bought into the Greater Port Harcourt plan, but nothing, it didn't really take off. How can government deal with that?
Well, those are part of the issues of governance that we are talking about, and that is more political. It's more political. Truth, government is a continuum, but every administration that comes, they have their own vision, they have their blueprint that they are building on, and all that. I think it's more of political.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
Thank you very much.
Political or not, here we are now. The governor is saying that people should move from the city center to other local government areas. As a resident, what would it take? As an indigene, what would it take for you to move from Port Harcourt, for example, to Emoha local government area, Ahoda East, Ahoda West, Andoni? We'll talk after the commercial. We're now adjourned for Port Harcourt. Stay tuned.
Morning Crossfire on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Thank you for staying tuned. We're talking about the governor's call on you and I to move to rural areas in a bit to decongest Port Harcourt. Feel free to join the conversation. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0009. Just saw a message here. Someone was asking me to ask my guest if they're using modern technology in planning or an outdated whatever. River State government should site the new campus of the Nigerian Law School outside Port Harcourt City. Do you think that will do it? My question really is, what needs to happen? What do you need to see as an indigene or a resident for you to move, for those of you who are in Falcon, for you to move out to other local government areas? Join the conversation. Good morning.
Yeah, Enoh, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Robert calling from Oyo. Yes, Enoh, I like what the governor has just said. Like, for example, now, I am not from Oyo. I left Port Harcourt, come down to Oyo. And when I come down to Oyo to put up my structure here, I think the road was okay, somehow. But if the road was like this as it is so, I will not. And for it to be here, I am regretting. Because the road here in Afam is so bad. And now, as I speak with you now, look at this road leading to Afam Road, Market Road. The Market Road is also bad. Now, as I speak with you. But we have two roads. School road, we have LGA road. Those roads are bad. And if I am coming to Afam now, I can decide to follow those roads. If those roads are good, without going through the Market Road. So if the governor has said we should leave our local the Port Township and go to other rural areas to develop those areas, we should also go and do the needful. So that people will live. There are a lot of people that have lands here that want to develop them. But because of this bad road, nobody wants to come in here to develop their land. So we should go and do the needful. Not as much as he wants us to do, he should also do it for us.
All right.
That is why we decided him to be there. Thank you. I remain Robert.
All right, Kingsley is in LMA. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
That's correct. If we go back to statistics of River State, during the time of Dr. Peter Odele, after that, Rotimi Amechi, and now Mr. Wike, I'll count from there. I wouldn't want to go back to the Podokilo speed and all that. You see, Port Harcourt had been planned too long ago. But there is no particular man who went back to the archive and said, this is the line that Port Harcourt has been put. Let us go back to it. We have the money. We have the resources. I'm talking of Ferrity Damage right now. It has been creating all these roads. Before, we don't know that's how Port Harcourt was planned. So it is not updated. It was rolled in. And somebody needs to follow it up. Go back to Lagos. You see, one governor or the other, they keep following. I have never seen any project in Lagos State being abandoned, whether APC, whether PDP. But because of this drive, acrimonious, limits, this one will start a project, at the end of the line, he will abandon it. He felt it's not necessary. It's not important. That is not our problem. Greater Port Harcourt, you mentioned. What is going on there? It's gone, abandoned. That is money wasting. Go back to Eleni. There's a plan there. Go back to Irete. There's a plan there. You all over. But what I see is that everybody wants to show. Let it be. I initiated this. We can't go like that. Like the young man that said, the plan is updated. I don't want to believe him. It's just a plan, it's a plan. The only thing that can be done there is a little amendment and change. Look at the way Port Harcourt is being congested. There's not even a single ring road in Port Harcourt. So all these things you are saying, the governor will finish, another person will come in, he will drive the bit, and he will roll over.
All right.
I pray that God will touch every one of us so that we can follow according to our predecessors. I rest my case.
All right, OG is in Ukwaku. Thank you, OG, for holding on.
Yeah, good morning. No, I think the whole thing that the governor talked about, the congestion, see, it is a simple language. It is an explanatory word. Even the governor knows what to do. For example, do you know before, Chuba, Alakaya, Rumosi, Alo were not towns, they were rural areas. What did the government do? When the school came in, people that were working there started buying houses, buying land, building. Go to Chuba, they go to Alakaya. We have people that are working in UPTH, living there, comfortably living there. And another thing is, people cannot, even if you try as much as possible to build something, an infrastructure or a company or anything around a particular rural area, if there is no security, these are the things we expect the government of Rivers State to do. And apart from that too, how many years remaining? 2 years. Is 2 years enough to decongest Rivers State? What I was saying is, any administration that comes, pick up a particular thing and start off. Not when the time or your tenure is going over, you begin to bring about issues that are more important. There is no industry. As we are talking to you right now, 2 years from now, certain industries into rural areas will definitely decongest Rivers State. I heard him the other day when he went to Obakari to commission a project. Look at what he said. He said your politicians, people in your community, they have decided to follow the party that cannot do. Is that what we are talking about? So if the people decide to vote a particular person, it is their wish. And you as a president or a governor that is in place shouldn't deprive the people of their basic amenities.
Right.
So what we are saying is, he has said the right thing, it's a good one, but let them match his words with action.
Thank you, OG. David West is calling from Enoh. Good morning.
Thank you very much, my sister Enoh. Good morning. My submission on this issue is I'm in support of urban-rural migration. But there are certain things that will need to be put in place for this to occur. Let me suggest to the governor that he should also think towards the direction of decentralizing some of the ministries and entities of government. I think if some of the ministries and parastatals are also taken to the various local government areas, it will also help in this urban-rural migration. Take, for instance, the general hospital in Guguna City is not functioning. It's just lying down there. I don't know whether they are doing renovation or rehabilitation, but nothing is happening there. What will make somebody to leave the city to go to Guguna where the general hospital is not functioning to go and reside? These are not possible. Give to the people the needed basic amenities. Nobody will want to come to the city center. And also, for this to be very, very effective too, the various local governments of the state must operate independently. There should be autonomy for the local government. Because some of these things the governors are doing are functions of the local government. Some of these things they are shouting they are provided are things the local government really can do if they are properly funded or given that needed financial autonomy of each own. Good morning and have a nice day.
All right, thank you. We've got Ida calling from Ankara. Good morning. Hello? All right, we'll go to OK. It's in Labuchi. Good morning, OK.
Good morning, Sister Enoh.
Yes, hear you.
Yes, the call of governor to the just Port Harcourt, very good one. But building a flyover and the road in Port Harcourt will not do that. What will really do that is to add the development. It's not like a greater. At least as the initiator place as a greater Port Harcourt before. let's move that action. Let's move with that Greater Port Harcourt, yes. Because if you, like in this Ikechukwu now, there have been demolition. You move that business center to that location side, that other side. It will just decongest inside the Port Harcourt city. People coming from a chair, people coming from Ovibo, we just enter from tank to Igrita or Magua or, you know, people will sit down, just a business center, but not only building school or bridges. That is all talk now this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. We've got messages here. If the government wants to decongest Port Harcourt on Obiakpo, let them come and develop Iboiche. There's no government presence here. Frank, have you been to Border City in Ogoni, Harrytown in Kalabari, Golo in Okrika? These places wow me when I went there for work. And I'll come and see layouts, town planning. The only thing they lack is government presence and infrastructure that will attract urban rural migration. Someone says it would not work. This is our collective work to develop his own local government. Now he wants to enjoy it alone. No way. Access, road and security should be considered before we talk of migration as a whole. The flyovers will help reduce traffic, thereby helping those coming from far. But security and roads are very important. Other forms of development will come naturally. Pastor Morgan, I really appreciate you and your phone call guest. In fact, the guy is very great, I must confess. You see, today the governor has called for a decongestion. Matter of fact, this is the truth. But then again, is it by just saying it with the mouth without actually carrying out the implementation? Now the governor has talked about it, then it will also be good for him to start by relocating organizations such as banks, companies and tertiary institutions to all the remaining 21 LGAs, as well as create roads and make those places enabling and see if people on their own won't go out without their being told to. Christian is calling from Bonny Island. Christian, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Hello. Actually, you know, any right-thinking person knows that, you know, the rural area is more, you know, conserved and better place to live. The pollution in the cities are so much. Do you want to talk of the factories, the industries, or you want to talk of the one coming from all these vehicles, cars, and so on? So any right-thinking person would like to come back to the village, to the rural area. You understand? It's ideal. But the question is, what do you put on ground to encourage them to come back? Because some people will be ready to be staying in Bonny, for example, and they will drive to Port Harcourt to go and work. Some people will be staying in the rural area. If they have a car, they drive down to Port Harcourt for work. So we are not decongested until when you put an alternative source of livelihood. And Niger Delta would have done this better than any other place because of most of these multinationals that are operating in these areas. But when they collect this money, they rather go to the city, you understand, and use it for their own benefit and not put anything on ground for them to put in the rural areas. It's making sense, but how can you back it up with laws? How do you back it up, you understand, with action? Thank you very much. That's my contribution.
All right. Do you want to see action? We're Nigerian folks.
Yes, good morning, Sister Enoh.
Good morning.
Yes. Before calling from Ibeloma. My own say this morning is the governor said he had decided to discongest Port Harcourt. It's a very condeveloped, but governor should know that Omuma has never achieved anything in this administration. Governor should at least give us one faculty in Omuma. That Omuma also will develop, because Port Harcourt as a settlement is congested. Governor should know that Omuma has land. At least any faculty is given to us in Omuma, we have land that will contain it. Omuma is a settlement in the state. Port is congested. Thank God you are there. Port is congested, and you are decided to discongest Port Harcourt. He should give us faculty. He has given to Eche, he has given to Emmanuel, he has given to Ahoda. Now, Omuma should receive their own.
All right.
This is my own say this morning.
Thank you for calling. DK Stephen on Facebook says he should revisit Greater Port Harcourt development plan. Who else got there on Facebook? Paul Kingsley, you don't call for urban-rural migration. That's a whole lot of planning to do. Involve town planners. Amos Wakaji, good morning, Enoh. Amos from LMA. The ex-governor created Greater Port Harcourt for knowing this ugly congestion. He should first make the state safe. He should revisit and make functional the Greater Port Harcourt. He should stop developing the mega city. Do we have a mega city? He should send all civil servants, government, functionaries and political representatives to live in their local government areas. Okay, it's a pity that simple development is considered complex in this part of the world. We've got Basi calling from Ahoda. Let's hear you, Basi. Basi, good morning.
Good morning, my sister Enoh. Yeah, I'm talking about the congestion the governor just said. We talk about Ahoda. Ahoda is an ancient LGA in River State, Nigeria. Are you with me?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Please, the governor should remember Ahoda. The industrial area has been developed for long, for due. And nothing has been done in that area. The Ahoda General Hospital, the General Hospital, many other places are there in Ahoda for them to develop so that the congestion should be reached the urban area, as I said. That's my statement. Story. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Basi. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Bishop from Daily Road.
Okay.
Yeah, about the topic on ground. Like Awuda, Degema, Bori, they are one of the oldest LGAs that have that plan that if we are moving to the rural area, they should develop that area. Degema in particular. If you go to Degema, you know that Degema is an ancient and old local government. As Saritoro was Baker from Degema, Akuga from Degema. And now, when you are looking at this thing, like now they are doing this border Bonny Road, at least after that when the road development will go there, well, the national companies are there. And Degema link up to the place. From Degema you can cross to Abua. From there, go to Bayelsa. Now, Bori, you know, it's the three local governments in Ogoni, there are 4. If you go to Bori, they have massive land that if you want to bring development there. Or sometimes, as you are shifting people to that place, take some of the ministry to that place. So, you know, development will go there. Like for the Degema houses, the Faculty of Law, that Kakama, where they want to even do the groundbreaking. Around that area, I learned there was Faculty of Law that is supposed to put there. But I don't know why they shifted. Because they've started the building, if I want to take it. But, you know, if you take things down there, that people around that area, the Calabari speaking local government, that will bring massive development here. So the condensed Port Harcourt is not a part of it. But you should go back to the Greater Port Harcourt plan that the former governor was following up. At least that one will even make the city to, you know, give a good facelift. Go to Obiwo. You know, at least we have many places that he will do this thing.
Thank you for calling. Those local government areas that connect with, you know, Obiapo and Falga. If we are able to, you know, if the government is able to kick off this project, so this, I mean, match his words with action. I mean, it could just start from there and keep pushing it until it gets to the waterfront. Thank you for joining the conversation. My name is Enoh Enigma. Good morning.